Nope. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Just wanted to make sure we didn't go in too far.
That's no problem.
Alright, so now he's gonna hit that with a nail, and when we do that, we're gonna make sure that this aluminum is right in line with the wall. Okay, this caulk right here is on the old door. This is actually 100% silicone. A lot of contractors use 100% silicone. The drawback to 100% silicone is that it really doesn't stick very good. It just, a lot of times you can just peel it off like a piece of spaghetti. So silicone is not the product that we want to use for construction. So what we use is Quad Max, made by a company called OSI. So I like the fact that it stretches and expands and contracts. One thing that's a little bit unique about our company is that we not only warranty the product with a manufacturer's warranty, but we warranty the installation with a lifetime labor warranty. So when you're offering a lifetime labor warranty to your customer, you want to make sure you're using products that are going to withstand the test of time, because you don't want to have to go back out to every job and re-caulk because you used a cheap caulk and it cracked and it didn't seal, and then you have water coming behind your flashing. Okay, right there. Perfect. Okay, tilt it up. Okay, good fit. Yeah. Okay, now the most important thing about this door now, that on film, because that was the most important step of the entire process, and if you screw that up, this whole house could come down. So now that we have the hinge side done, this one's ready to foam. If somebody has a spare moment, they could be foaming that, and I can continue on with the strike side. So the strike side is the side that gets the strike latches for the hardware, so they call this the strike side of the door. And I'll follow that same exact process. Thank you for the backup beeper, little extra music. And I'll follow that same process though. Every screw that goes in, I put shims behind it, and I shut the door and look at the alignment to make sure I didn't over tighten or under tighten. So I want to make sure that alignment stays perfect and true to the slab of the door. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pre-drill a hole. The factory doesn't pre-drill these holes, so we're going to do that on site here. That's it. So that pre-drilled it. The reason why I pre-drill again, because it's such a small amount of wood, I don't want to split it. And we can do the same for the bottom. You have to have this one pretty tight, because again that's an adjustable plate right in there, and if you don't have these tight enough, this will not stay in position for you. Alright, we're going to check this, see how tight we have it, see if everything looks good. Okay, similar process on the deadbolt. We do put this backer plate in there. That is for aesthetics and to help with air from blowing through there. Okay, if you look at this reveal, it looks nice and clean and even, but I'm just rubbing just a little bit on those strike plates right before it closes. When it's all the way closed, it looks good, but I'm not 100% satisfied with that, so this is a case where I'm going to actually remove this shim, these fat ones, and just use one shim in this case, and that will actually help me taper this frame just a touch to open it. So I want to use the fat side deep, tapering out to a thin side, and then when I harden up on that screw, it'll actually open this frame just a smidge, and that will alleviate that little bit of rub that I'm experiencing right there. Okay, all the shims are done. The alignment looks great all the way around. I love all the alignment. Everything looks great. When we installed the door, I had my level on the hinges here, so when he tightened up, everything looked good till it was perfect. So I know everything is true this way and square to itself. I know the sill is level as well. I've done that. But the one thing I noticed is that as you open this door, it does kind of float on its own. It kind of wants to open. Gravity is opening this door a little bit. So when I check this level, I look at that bubble at the top, and it's showing me that it's out of level, which is what the door is actually doing. It's opening on its own. So if I wanted to make this door level, I'd have to bring it in by that amount. And that's almost a ½ inch. Well, before we installed this door, we checked the wall, and the wall was about a ½ inch out of square. So this is one of those cases, it's an older home. Do you follow the wall, or do you try to make everything perfectly level so the door doesn't open and creep like it did on its own? So that's always the thing as you're doing remodeling and retrofitting of products. You have to find that happy medium. So I think we've done a pretty good job here to minimize the amount of creep, but still when our trim goes on, our trim's gonna look fantastic to the wall. So the wall of the house is a little bit out of level, but not to the point where it's causing a problem. This door isn't gonna just all of a sudden magically open on its own. It'll be pretty stable. So when you're doing the foam process, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to every nook and nanny on the foam process. So that's why I really want all the guys to get up on a ladder. I want you to have a visual of where that nozzle is and where that foam is expanding to. It has to fill everything. I don't want any air or water or noise getting around that door. And the foam is our last resort of defense. Whenever possible, we like to foam from the outside of the product and then go on the inside of the house and foam from the inside like we just did. So now we're getting a double layer plus an air pocket between the two layers. So it just gives you that much better insulation value and another layer of protection if there's ever any water getting behind the siding or behind the soffit or whatever your situation might be. The next thing I like about this Provia product is that they actually put this protective cover on here, and after you're done installing and doing all your work, you pull this cover off, and then you pull these tabs off here, and then all of the weather stripping is engaged to the weather strip on the bottom. And this weather strip on the bottom is kind of unique. When you pull this off, you'll see it's actually a spring-loaded threshold. So the threshold always automatically adjusts to the slab as you open and close it. So it's a self-adjusting threshold all the time. So what Corey's doing right now is putting on the aluminum flashing and what we call coil wrap. So this actually comes to us in a roll of coil. We bent this into the shape and the sizes that we want. Now Corey is cutting it and shaping it and fitting it to the door frame. So this part of the door jamb gets wrapped with that piece that he's putting on right now, that he's trimming right now. This next piece, remember how we cut part of this off? That's so we could fit it in here and have a gap so we could foam it and be able to move and adjust this door so it's level. Well, now we have this still to go. So he measured from here out, and then he measured from here over, and that will hide all of this. And then we'll seal it, and that will then protect this entire jamb system. But when it's all done, it'll look nice and clean. Everything will be well sealed and insulated and flashed, and this will come all the way down, and he'll probably run the jambs all the way down real close to the deck board, but not all the way. We don't want to interfere with anything. And then he'll do that on both sides. So as he continues to put this on, he'll end up putting back caulk on here, and that'll seal that to this jamb. He'll continue to put marks on it and cut it and shape it and trim and fit it. Across the bottom, it looks like there's a gap, which there is, but behind it, again, we sealed it, we foamed it, and we also put that sill pan under there, the aluminum sill pan, so all of that is under there. So there's no need to do anything else down here. Most contractors don't put aluminum on at all. They just leave it painted or unpainted, and they walk away and they're done. We like to wrap everything with aluminum so the homeowner never has to paint or stain or do anything to that jamb. What he's doing right now is called a back caulk. So we call it a back caulk because when he puts the aluminum trim on there, that will be hidden behind the trim. So on the back side of the trim. You can actually hide a nail into the joint here, really close to this joint, and then when you caulk it, the caulk will hide it. Or again, you can go behind this weather stripping. Push this weather stripping out of the way and come from the back side with the nail and hide it there. And then the weather stripping hides the nail. And,
I don't want to take too much off. Maybe a little more off the bottom.
all right, we're right here at the end of the job, and I think we have another train coming on. So let's see. Yeah, I hear one coming. Here it comes. I don't think we're gonna get much of a horn, but we're gonna see how quiet it gets when we close the door. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. You remember the old Ace Ventura movie? That does pretty good. It's a good sound, nice and quiet. Respectively speaking. Sounds good. I think I can sleep now.